Welcome dear friends to my video lecture on inclusive education, that is NET education unit 10 or TRB education unit 10, and we are just treating the topics, especially the part A topics so royally. Of course, most important ideas and the most basic questions are given so that you should not, so that you enjoy these contents as well as without boredom you are able to get the points in your mind. For that reason I am just putting 2 or 3 topics together, and then the most important ideas are given. I will be giving it in Tamil also, along with some questions. So I have changed the fashion of giving the topics, slightly change for your sake, so that you are able to enjoy these videos. That is what just I have thought about, and then I am doing. Most welcome to give your comments, and if in any other way, if you want the topic, tell me in the comments so that I am able to change for your benefit, for your fruitfulness. What are the contents here? What are the content of this video? There are 3 concept of impairment, concept of impairment, disability and handicap, classification of disabilities based on the ICF model, readiness of schools and models of inclusion for diverse learners. So this is seen in the unit 10, especially part A. So just we will quickly go through all the important ideas here. What is the concept of impairment, disability and handicap? The terms impairment, disability and handicap are often misunderstood and used interchangeably, but they have distinct meanings. Understanding these terms helps us build a more inclusive society. What do you mean by impairment? It refers to the loss or abnormality of physical, mental or sensory function. That is the definition of impairment. It refers to the loss or abnormality of physical, mental or sensory function. For example, broken bone, hearing loss or cognitive issues, something related to the brain functions. Impairment is a medical condition and may not always hinder daily activities. That we have to see. The differences are that you must know. So the impairment is just a medical condition and may not always hinder, affect daily activities. What do you mean by disability? It focuses on the restrictions caused by an impairment. Examples: difficulty performing tasks like walking, reading, or cooking. That is disability. It focuses on the restrictions caused by an impairment. For example, due to the accident, you are unable to, sit on the floor because the nerves have been affected. So it becomes a disability like that. So it's a difficulty performing tasks like walking, reading, or working. Disability results from the interaction of impairment with the societal and environmental barriers. So that is the definition of this. The third one, handicap. What do you mean by handicap? It refers to disadvantages caused by external barriers, not the individual's condition. For example, you are a wheelchair user unable to access a building without ramps. So here, it is an external barrier. If there is a ramp, you will be able to perform his tasks. But there is no ramp, so he is unable to do that. Even though he is having the wheelchair, still he is unable to use it due to no ramps. So that is the idea. So handicap means disadvantages caused by external barriers, not the individual's condition. For example, a person with hearing impairment faces a disability if they struggle with the conversations. If their society lacks interpreters or hearing aids, this creates a handicap, limiting their participation. To support people with impairments, we need to reduce the environmental and societal barriers, making buildings accessible, providing assistive technologies, and fostering inclusive attitudes can help. What does impairment mean? Loss or abnormality of body function. Impairment refers to any physical, mental or sensory condition affecting function. What is not an impairment? Difficulty walking due to poor infrastructure. This is a handicap, not an impairment. See, all of a sudden you get into an accident, unable to walk, something has happened in the leg, and without the ramp you are unable to do that, then it becomes a handicap. Poor infrastructure causes this handicap. What is a disability? The restrictions caused by an impairment. That is disability. Restrictions caused by an impairment. Disability arises when impairments limit daily activities. What is a handicap? It is a disadvantage due to external barriers. Handicaps are created by inaccessible environment. That is the idea. Handicaps are created by inaccessible environment. It is not available. So handicap happens due to some condition in the person. Which term emphasizes external barriers? This is handicap. If there are no external, if there are external barriers, then it leads to handicap. Handicap highlights how societal barriers restrict participation. What is a hearing impairment cause? A hearing impairment causes a disability related to hearing. Hearing loss limits communication, leading to disability. What can reduce disability's impact? Which can help in order not to have disability? That is support systems and accommodations. Inclusive environments help reduce disabilities or mitigate disabilities. How does impairment differ from disability? What is the difference? Impairment is a condition. Disability is the limitation it causes. So impairments lead to disabilities only when activities are restricted. A person unable to use a staircase, not staircase, staircase I think, is a handicap. A person unable to use staircase is a handicap. This is a result of external barriers like no ramps. What does disability focus on? Functional limitations from an impairment. What does disability focus on? Functional limitations from an impairment. Disability is about the impact on daily tasks. So, what does disability focus on? Functional limitations from an impairment, daily activities. What is a handicap for a wheelchair user? Lack of ramps in buildings. Environmental barriers create handicaps. What describes disability? Functional limitations caused by impairment, daily activities in other words. Disability limits a person's ability to perform daily tasks. So that is disability. What might cognitive impairment cause? That is mental function or brain function. It is a difficulty performing tasks. Cognitive issues may make some tasks hard. Cognitive impairment. Do impairments always cause handicaps? No. Handicaps depend on societal and environmental barriers. What is society's role in reducing disability? A society should create an accessible environment. Society should reduce disability by removing barriers and promoting inclusion. So that is the society's role in reducing disability. Now we are going for the second topic, namely classification of disabilities based on the ICF model. What do you mean by ICF model? That is the International Classification of Functioning Disability and Health. Developed by WHO, provides a global framework for understanding disability. What is ICF model? This is the thing, the International Classification of Functioning Disability and Health, ICF, developed by WHO, World Health Organization has created it. It provides a global framework for understanding disability. I hope you understood this. International Classification of Functioning Disability and Health, that is ICF. It has been developed by World Health Organization. So it defines disability as a process influenced by a person's health, environment and personal factors. So this ICF defines disability as a process influenced by a person's health, environment and personal factors. The model focuses on a person's ability to function in life rather than just a medical condition, offering a complete view of disabilities. So this ICF model focuses on a person's ability to function in life rather than just a medical condition, offering a complete view of disabilities. The ICF model consists of three key parts that we have to understand. The ICF model, that is International Classification of Functioning. Functioning. Yeah, that is what we are seeing. International Classification of Functioning, Disability, and Health. So, ICF model consists of three key parts: functioning and disability. This part examines the body functions and structures, activities, and participation in the society. Then the second part is the contextual factors. It includes environmental elements like surroundings, social attitudes, and support systems. And the third part of ICF model is personal factors, individual traits such as age, gender, and education. So the ICF model consists of three key parts: functioning and disability, contextual factors, and personal factors. Disability arises from health. Disability arises from how health issues interact with the environment and personal traits, meaning the same condition can affect people differently. So people are different, even though they have disabilities, their reaction or their responses are different. That is the idea this ICF model gives. Disability arises from how health problems interact with the environment and personal traits, meaning the same condition can affect people differently. ICF model classification. ICF model classification. How it is classified? Disabilities are grouped into four categories under this ICF model. Body functions and structures. It covers physical body functions and impairments. For example, spinal cord injuries affect mobility, and neurological disorders may impair speech or vision. This is called bodily function and structures, one of the categories of disabilities according to ICF. Then activities and participation, another category. It focuses on daily tasks and social involvement. A physical disability might limit activities like eating or working, or restrict participation in education or community events. Activities and participation focuses on daily tasks and social involvement. The third part will be environmental factors. It considers surroundings like building access, transportation, and societal attitudes. Accommodations such as ramps for wheelchair users can greatly improve participation. So this is the environmental factor. So the fourth part of ICF model will be the personal factors. It includes traits like age, gender, and coping skills. For instance, resilience and education can influence how one adapts to a disability. The ICF model emphasizes that disability depends on the interaction between health, personal, and environmental factors. The ICF model emphasizes that disability depends on the interaction between health, personal, and environmental factors. It helps professionals design strategies in healthcare, education, and policy to improve inclusion and accessibility. For example, in education, it promotes accessible environments and personalized teaching methods, IEP, individual educational plan, personalized teaching methods. By identifying barriers to societal attitudes or lack of infrastructure, the ICF encourages policies that support equal opportunities and fostering a more inclusive society. So, some of the questions we can ask: what is the ICF model's main focus? ICF model's main focus is the interaction between health conditions and the functioning of the individual in day-to-day life. So, it looks at, this ICF model looks at how health impacts daily life rather than just a medical condition. Who developed the ICF model? World Health Organization. WHO Health Organization created this framework for a universal understanding of disability. How does the ICF model define disability? ICF model defines disability as a dynamic process influenced by various factors. Disability changes based on health, environment, and personal traits. What is a key component of the ICF model? Environmental factors. It acknowledges how surroundings influence function. What does the body functions and structures category include? What does the body functions and structures category include? Physiological functions and body systems. So this focuses on how body parts work and their impairments. What is the activities and participation category address? That is a daily task and social activities. It assesses this model, this part of the model, ICF model, assesses how individuals perform activities like working or interacting with society. What do environmental factors include? Physical surroundings and social attitudes. Environmental factors include the physical surroundings and social attitudes of the disabled children, disabled people. Examples are building access and community support. What are examples of personal factors? Age and gender. These individual traits shape how disability is experienced. In old age, even the normal person cannot function, do certain functions. The entire body has weakened. That's the idea here. So, what are the examples of personal factors? Age and gender. What influences how disability is experienced? That is the environmental and personal factors. This is how disability is experienced. These factors modify the impact of health conditions. Environmental and personal factors modify the impact of health conditions. If you have social support, this health conditions improve. That is the idea here. What does the ICF model encourage? ICF model encourages a holistic approach. It includes all aspects of life in addressing disability. How does the ICF model differ from medical models? How does the ICF model differ from medical models? It focuses on social and environmental aspects. ICF model differs from medical models because it focuses on social and environmental aspects. So, ICF model goes beyond just medical treatment. What does participation mean in the context, in this ICF model context? Engaging in life activities. Examples include work, education and social roles. What is an example of an environmental factor with regard to this ICF model? Access to transportation. External aids like public transport can enable participation. How do personal factors affect disability? Personal factors shape how a person adapts to the particular situation. Traits like resilience and education influence coping with new situations, difficult situations. What does the ICF model promote in education? It is nothing but inclusive practices. So ICF model calls for environments and methods tailored to diverse needs. So we are going for the third area now. Readiness of schools and models of inclusion for diverse learners. That is the topic. What is inclusive education? Of course, we already explained it many times, but still, we want to keep this in mind. What is inclusive education? Inclusive education means teaching students with disabilities alongside their peers in general classrooms. It requires providing support and accommodations to meet the diverse needs. What are the models of inclusion? There are two types: full inclusion and partial inclusion. These are models of inclusion. Full inclusion means students with disabilities participate in all school activities. Partial inclusion means students join general classes part of the day, some periods in the day, and get specialized support at other times. For example, during the games period, these students cannot participate in the games, but they will be given other types of games inside the room, so that way, specialized support. Students join general classes part of the day and get specialized support at other times. Why is inclusion important? Because inclusion helps all students learn and grow together regardless of their abilities. That is why inclusion is important. What does the term prevalence of disabilities means? Very important concept. Prevalence of disabilities. What does this mean? It's a technical term in inclusive education. Prevalence of disability. It refers to the growing identification of disabilities among students due to increased awareness. Today, the normal children are sympathetic towards such children. You could see in the schools or in colleges. It is because of this awareness, about the disabilities. Disability is not an untouchable thing. Disability, of course, some handicap with regard to the person. It could be, he could be helped with the companion. So that is the idea here. The prevalence of disabilities means growing identification of disabilities among students due to increased awareness. What are intellectual disabilities? These involve below average IQ, under 70, affecting learning, problem solving, and daily skills. Students need extra time, modified teaching methods, and support for communication and social skills. What are physical disabilities? Physical disabilities affect movement, coordination, or speech. Students may need ramps, assistive devices, or physical therapy to access education. These are physical disabilities. They affect movement, coordination, or speech. What are multiple disabilities? Another important concept in the syllabus. Multiple disabilities. This is a combination of intellectual and physical challenges requiring comprehensive support in academics, mobility, and social. It's all put together. Multiple disabilities. What are the characteristics of intellectual disabilities? Students may struggle with abstract thinking, social skills, and processing complex information. What are the characteristics of intellectual disabilities? Students may struggle with abstract thinking, social skills, and processing complex information. Actually, multiple disabilities. What accommodations do students with physical abilities need? Accessible classrooms, assistive technology, and physical modifications like ramps and elevators, lifts even. So these are accommodations for physical disabilities. Right. Now, how are the needs of students with multiple disabilities addressed? How are the needs of students with multiple disabilities addressed? They require individualized plans, IEP, combining academic, physical, and social support developed with the teachers, therapists, and specialists. What makes a school ready for inclusion? These are the few factors. Trained teachers, accessible trained teachers, accessible infrastructure, ramps, elevators, lifts, etc. Specialized staff like therapists and counselors. So, these things make the school ready for inclusion. These are needed for inclusive children or inclusive schools. Why is flexibility in the curriculum important? Because the flexibility in the curriculum allows adaptations for diverse learners, ensuring they can access education in a way that suits their needs, according to their needs. So, flexibility in the curriculum is needed. It allows adaptations for diverse learners, ensuring they can access education in a way according to their needs. What role does assistive technology play? Tools like speech-to-text software help students participate and learn effectively. Today, modern technology gives that. You speak something immediately, your words which you want to have the text, it is there on the text, in the computer screen. You speak and then it gets typed out. That type of speech-to-text software is available nowadays. So what role does assistive technology play? This is one of the tools. Modern technological tools are available now. Tools like speech-to-text software help students participate and learn effectively. How can schools promote social skills for students with disabilities? So how can schools promote social skills for students with disabilities? The society provides, the schools provide opportunities for interaction and teamwork with the peers. Why are individualized education plans essential? IEPs are essential. Why? IEPs tailor education strategies to each student's unique needs, ensuring appropriate support and progress. Some of the questions and answers, of course, the above also I have given the content in the question answer form. Once again, some questions in order to get the concept clarified or clear. What is the main goal of inclusive education? To teach students with disabilities alongside their peers. What is the feature of full inclusion? Students with disabilities participate in non-school activities. That's called full inclusion. What is partial inclusion? Students join general classes for part of the day and get special support for the rest of the day. What does the prevalence of disabilities refer to? It is nothing but increased identification of disabilities among students. Students identify such disabilities and they are helpful to some of the students in the class, disabled children for example. So the prevalence of disabilities is awareness building. What are intellectual disabilities? Challenges with learning, reasoning and daily skills due to low IQ. IQ below 70, intellectual disability. So, what are intellectual disabilities? It is problems with learning, reasoning and daily skills due to low IQ. What do students with physical disabilities need? Modification like ramps or assistive devices. What are multiple disabilities? A combination of intellectual and physical challenges both together needing extra support. What do students with intellectual disabilities struggle with? Abstract thinking and processing information. Intellectual disability means that these children have a problem with abstract thinking and processing information, putting the information into categories. What are common challenges for students with physical disabilities? Movement, coordination and accessing learning materials. These are all common challenges for students with physical disabilities. What is the key need for students with multiple disabilities? It is a mix of academic, social and physical support. What should schools provide for inclusion? They should include trained staff, accessible facilities and supportive services. Why should the curriculum be flexible to meet the needs of all learners effectively? How does assistive technology help? It allows students to access materials and participate in learning. How can social skills be developed? By encouraging peer interaction? Thank you very much, dear friends. God bless you abundantly. Let us meet in another video lecture. Kindly subscribe and also like, give your comments so that my videos get more values. I am sure it will be a great help to you. I am going to give all the topics one way. Now I am changing the pattern of giving my videos. So I am just putting 2 or 3 topics in the syllabus together and then giving the most important ideas, the most important questions. Of course, the long, detailed notes will be given in PDF file soon. Thank you very much. God bless you.